So, hello everybody. I hope that your day is going well. Mine's going all right. One thing that I'm looking forward to is we do have Blanchfield versus Barber taking place tonight. Um, I don't actually really care about that fight. I guess I can give my take on it. I think Aaron Blanchfield is most likely going to end up winning the fight. Because, the biggest thing in WMMA, right, is takedowns, right? If you look at and it's funny too because you'd think between the men's and women's divisions that the scoring criteria would be the same, which on paper, if we're going by Anthony Smith logic, on paper they are the same, right? But when it comes to the actual judging of the fight, um takedowns and holding someone up against the fence and getting control time is outweighed by striking, right? And when you look at that department in WMMA, in Erin Blanchfield, she takes the fight. I do truly think she's going to win this fight. I just don't think that Macy Barber has what's in her to get it done, especially with her missing weight. I mean, come on, like you could see that as an advantage. You could think, all right, she did weigh in a little bit heavier. Maybe that'll, bring the fight to her side. But I don't think that's the case. But what I'm really here to talk about today is Mateusz Gamrot versus Ludwig Klein. This is the fight that I'm most excited for on this card, and really the only fight that I care about. You can say that's a casual take, but I don't really give a shit. Who do I think is going to win this fight? I think Mateusz Gamrot is going to get this one done. The biggest thing for me is his size. Obviously he's a grappling demon. He's great. Mateusz Gamrot is the GOAT when it comes to lightweight grappling. And don't get me wrong. I mean, Klein has great striking. He really does. I do think that he will outpace him in the feet, but I think, when you look at Gamrot's last couple of fights, I think that he beat Dan Hooker. I don't think he lost that fight. I think that was a robbery, and I understand that it was a split decision, but I thought that Mateusz Gamrot had won 2 out of the 3 rounds in that fight. So, kind of unfortunate for him. I know he's been looking for a fight for a long time. Obviously, kind of needed to fight down, big opportunity for Ludwig Klein, but I just think with his size, his grappling, I mean, they have a 3-inch height difference, One thing that I like to say is, look, Ludwig Klein could potentially make featherweight, right? Mateusz Gamrot is never making featherweight. That's just not going to happen, right? Just because of his size. So, I'm going with Mateusz Gamrot. I'm going with Mateusz Gamrot getting this one done. I'm going to say 2-1 unanimous decision, 29-28 unanimous decision, but a clear decision. All right, Gamrot won that fight, no arguments for robbery. I think that if he does get, stumbled at all, if he does get rocked by Ludwig Klein, I think he's going to shoot in for the takedowns. I think he's going to be able to get his grappling going. I really only see Klein winning if he's able to knock out Gamrot, which could happen. I'm not counting out the possibility of that, but overall, I think the chance of that happening is maybe 20-80. I think it is a slimmer chance. It would be interesting to see Klein get into the top 15. And I do think that he is a top 15 worthy level fighter. I think it could happen one day. I just don't think it's, going up against number 7 ranked in the world, Mateusz Gamrot, even if you look at Gamrot's losses, right? He lost to Dan Hooker, right? Which is a fight that I still think he won, It's not like he's losing against, a couple unranked bums. He's losing against the best of the best, right? So even though Gamrot, he doesn't have that fire behind him right now, even though he's not on a win streak and he's coming off of a loss, I still think he's going to get this one done by 29-28 unanimous decision, I will say. And, let's talk about this fight too. Dustin Jacoby versus Bruno Lopez. I'm going to go with Jacoby. I loved his performance against Vitor Petrino. That was honestly probably one of my favorite fights from that UFC. Where was it? Tampa, maybe? It might have been it. I can't remember where it was, but it was in December and it was a fantastic fight night. Knocked out Vitor Petrino. And I think Bruno Lopez in a lot of ways is very similar to Vitor. A little bit less threatening. And I understand that Jacoby's an unk. I know he's an unk, and I know he could get knocked out in this fight. I think there's a very real chance of that happening. But I will have to go with Dustin Jacoby on this one. I think he's going to be the one to get it done here. So that's really it. That's really all my takes on this card. I really don't care about many other fights on this card. June is looking fantastic for the UFC. I know that I made a video not too long ago talking about how lackluster a couple UFC pay-per-views have been, but I think that June should actually be a really fun month of fights. So stay tuned for some more content with that. And make sure to like and subscribe. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to comment your opinions below. Let me know if I missed any fights that you're looking forward to. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good one.